Dr. Lena Marek stepped off the shuttle and into the bright halls of Arlan Station, feeling the usual mix of excitement and worry that came with every interstellar trip. The air smelled faintly of metal and citrus, a scent pumped through the vents to keep the station's 23 visiting species comfortable. Her boots clicked on the smooth silver floor as crowds of aliens moved around her, some tall and feathered, some floating, some glowing faintly under their clothes. Lena had seen hundreds of strange life forms during her years as a xenobiologist, but the station always made her feel small and very, very human. She tugged her travel bag higher on her shoulder and scanned the arrival hall for the escort the council promised her. She was here to give a presentation about human immune strength, something other species found strangely impressive. Humans healed quickly, adapted fast, and survived things most aliens couldn't. Because of that, Lena's work had become well known across the galaxy, even though she still felt like a normal woman from Earth. She spotted no one holding a welcome sign, no delegate waiting politely. That was odd. The council was usually strict about protocol. After a few minutes, she lifted her wrist.com to call the station office. Before she could press a button, a sharp clicking sound echoed behind her. "Dr. Lena Marek?" a dry, vibrating voice said. Lena turned and saw a tall insectoid figure standing stiffly near a support column. He had 4 narrow eyes, a curved shell-like head, and long arms that ended in delicate, claw-like hands. His skin looked like polished green stone. She recognized his species instantly. Cressians, known for their calm logic and incredible medical skills. "Yes, that's me," Lena said, trying to sound friendly. The alien stepped closer, his antennae quivering. "I am Dr. Kresic, Chief Medical Officer of Arlan Station. I must speak with you." Lena blinked. "You're the one meeting me? I thought I was supposed to meet the council first. Plans have changed. Please follow. Urgent matter." His voice had no emotion, but the speed of his movements and the tension in his antennae made Lena uneasy. What could be so urgent that it required the station's chief medical officer? She followed him through the busy hallways. The crowds thinned as they moved deeper into the station. They passed sealed research doors, security barriers, and glowing panels showing patient statistics in alien languages. The environment changed so quickly it made Lena wonder whether she had missed some disaster announcement. After several minutes, Kresic stopped outside a private medical chamber. He placed his hand on the scanner, and the door slid open with a soft hiss. Inside, Dr. Marek. Lena stepped in. The room was quiet and dim, filled with soft blue light. In the center stood a floating hologram screen. Strange medical symbols circled across it, like drifting dust. She had seen countless medical rooms, but something about this one felt like a courtroom rather than a clinic. Kresic entered behind her and sealed the door. "Dr. Kresic." Lena started carefully. "I would really appreciate if you told me what this is about." The alien lowered his head, a gesture that for his species meant uncertainty or guilt. "We have discovered a complication, a serious one, and your presence was required at once." Lena stiffened. "What kind of complication?" Without answering, Kresic touched the hologram. The symbols shifted and merged, forming a detailed medical report. Human DNA strands spun slowly at the center, glowing bright white. Next to them flickered a second set of genetic structures, longer, more complex, clearly not human. But the 2 strands connected, interlocked, matched. Lena frowned. "This looks like a parent-child genetic test." Kresic's antennae drooped even lower. "Yes, it is." A cold chill crept up Lena's spine. "Why are you showing me this?" "Because, Dr. Marek, the test identifies you as the biological parent of a hybrid child currently living on Arlan Station." Her heart slammed against her chest. "What? No, that's impossible." Lena shook her head. Stepping back, "I've never been pregnant, and I've never donated genetic material for a hybrid project. Humans don't even have cross-species reproduction capability." Nevertheless, the match is perfect. 99.994% certainty. That can't be right. The system must be broken. It is not broken. I personally performed the verification. Lena stared at the glowing strands. Her hands trembled. Then, you kidnapped my DNA or something? Someone stole it? Kresic looked at her with all four eyes, steady, serious, almost regretful. The error lies in us, not in you. Years ago, our research team accessed the Human Global Genome Archive. We believed the sample we used was anonymized, untraceable. But we were mistaken. The data we retrieved belonged directly to you. Lena's jaw dropped. You took my DNA from Earth's secure system? Without permission? Yes, by accident. It was labeled incorrectly. Lena's anger spiked. Incorrectly? That's not a small mistake, Kresic. He lowered his head again. I agree. It is a grave failure. And the consequences are much larger now. She took a deep breath, trying to stay calm. Tell me everything. Kresic tapped the hologram again. A small figure appeared, a silver-skinned adolescent with faint, glowing lines across their arms, sitting quietly on a bench. Lena felt her breath catch. Who is that? Designation: Unit K7. Age equivalent: approximately 14 Earth years. Hybrid prototype created during our adaptive diplomat program, designed to survive hostile environments and communicate with high-empathy species. The hologram zoomed in. The child had wide, curious eyes and a soft expression. Their features were alien, yes, smooth skin, delicate bones, but there was something familiar in the shape of the jaw, the curve of the brow. Something human. Something frighteningly close to Lena. Why test them now? Lena whispered. Kresic answered. K7. Displayed unexpected human behavior traits recently. Curiosity, humor, emotional understanding. Traits not present in previous versions. It raised questions. We re-examined their genome. That is when we discovered the match with you. Lena pressed her hand to her forehead. I can't believe this. You created a child using my genes, and you didn't know? It was never our intention to create a living being from your unique profile. You must understand our program sought a theoretical template only. Something stable. Something strong. Humans are known for biological resilience. Your genome met the criteria. That doesn't make this okay. No, it does not. Silence hung heavy between them. Lena struggled to breathe through the shock. She had always wanted to contribute to science. But not like this. Not as an unwilling parent to a hybrid being she had never met. A soft chime sounded. Kresic touched the wall panel. A window opened on the screen, showing a message from Station Command. He read it, his antennae twitching sharply. What is it now? Lena asked nervously. Kresic turned toward her, his voice lower than before. The Galactic Council has been informed. They demand that we present you, and the hybrid, for evaluation. Immediately. Evaluation? Lena repeated. Like we're some experiment? Worse. Kresic's voice tightened. They are discussing whether K7 should be terminated to cover the political error. Lena felt the floor tilt under her feet. Terminated? You mean destroy the child? Over a mistake you made? Yes. Lena stepped back, shock turning into fire. The council holds the authority. Then they'll have to fight me for it, Lena said sharply. For a moment, Kresic simply watched her. All four eyes studying this small, furious human. This is why I called you early, Dr. Marek. His voice dropped to a whisper-like vibration. K7 trusts me. But they will trust you more. You share a link they instinctively recognize. If you do not meet them soon, it may be too late to protect them. Lena swallowed hard. Her accidental child, was in danger because of a medical error. A human genome, stolen by mistake. A hybrid life hanging in the balance. She closed her eyes, steadying herself. "Take me to them," she said. "Now." Kresic nodded once and opened the door. As they walked into the hallway, Lena felt something inside her shift. She had arrived on Orlan Station to give a scientific presentation. Instead, she was about to meet a child born from her DNA. And somehow, she knew this was only the beginning of something much bigger. Something that would change her life, the station, and maybe even the galaxy. Dr. Lena Marek followed Dr. Kresic through the quiet industrial level of Orlan Station. The corridors here were different, darker, heavier, lined with pipes and humming machines. The public areas above were colorful and bright, filled with shops and travelers. But this area felt secret, hidden, like something the station did not want the public to see. Kresic walked fast on his thin legs, barely making a sound. Lena almost had to jog to keep up. "Where exactly are we going?" Lena asked, trying to ignore the strange metallic smell in the air. "To Habitat Chamber 7. K-7 lives there. It is isolated from the main population to protect them." "Protect them from what?" Kresic's antennae twitched. "From fear. Most species are uncomfortable with hybrid experiments. Some see them as unnatural or dangerous." Lena frowned. "Yes. But not everyone sees it that way." And they turned down a long corridor lit only by a thin glowing strip along the floor. The station's hum grew louder, vibrating through the metal walls. Lena felt her nerves tighten. She had faced alien environments, strange diseases, and bizarre scientific puzzles before, but nothing had prepared her for this. They reached a tall metal door labeled HAB 7 inches, glowing blue letters. Kresic placed his clawed hand against the scanner. The door slid open. The room inside surprised Lena. It wasn't a lab. It wasn't a cell either. It was a home. A small home, but still a home. Soft lights glowed from the ceiling. A table stood in the center with a few scattered objects, colored stones, flexible metal toys, and a stack of learning tablets. Along the walls were shelves holding books from different species. A window displayed a holographic view of a peaceful forest. Probably fake, but still comforting. And sitting on the floor, cross-legged, was the hybrid, K7. Lena froze. They were smaller than she imagined, slim, delicate, with smooth silver skin that reflected the light in gentle waves. Their eyes glowed softly, a pale blue with rings like ripples in water. Their hair was short and metallic, like fine wires but softer. K7 looked up the moment Lena entered. Their gaze locked with hers. Instantly, curious, alert, wide. Something in their expression made her heart tighten. It wasn't fear. It wasn't confusion. It was recognition. As if they felt something familiar about her. Kresic stepped forward. "K7. This is Dr. Lena Marek. She is the human your genetics are linked to." K7 slowly stood. They tilted their heads slightly, studying Lena the way a child studies a new teacher or a strange animal. Their glowing eyes blinked twice. "Hello," Lena said softly. She tried to smile. K7 stepped closer, their movements smooth and careful. They stopped just an arm's length away from her and stared into her face. Lena felt strangely exposed under their steady gaze. "You're warm," K7 said in a soft voice, almost musical. "Your aura is warm." The words made Lena's chest ache. "I'm human. Our body heat is higher than most species." K7 reached out a hand, then hesitated, unsure if touching was allowed. Lena slowly lifted her own hand. K7 touched her fingertips gently. Their skin was cool, soft, like silk, but with a faint electric tingle. The moment they touched, their eyes widened. "You feel like me," K7 whispered. Lena swallowed hard. I guess we're connected." K7 pulled their hand back, confused. "Connected? How?" Kresik stepped in carefully. "Dr. Marek's DNA was used in your creation. She is your human biological source." "Well, 2000. K7 looked at Lena again, eyes full of questions. "Does that mean you are my parent?" The question hit Lena like a physical blow. She opened her mouth, then closed it again. She had no idea how to answer. She hadn't chosen this. She hadn't even known they existed until an hour ago. K7 looked down, misunderstanding her silence. "It's okay. You don't have to be." "No," Lena said quickly. "Hey, look at me." She knelt down so she was at eye level with them. "This is just a lot for me. But I'm not angry at you. Not at all." K7 studied her face again, searching for truth. "You're sad," they said quietly. "I can feel it." Lena exhaled. "Maybe a little, but not because of you." K7 stepped back, their shoulders lowering. "I don't want you to be sad." Something warm rose in Lena's chest again, something protective, something surprisingly strong. Before she could answer, a soft alarm beeped from Kresik's wrist panel. He stiffened. "Council security teams are moving. They are coming to take K7 away for evaluation." K7 flinched. "Evaluation means pain," they whispered. Lena spun toward Kresik. "You said we had more time." "I believed so. But the council accelerated their decision. They fear political damage if Earth learns the truth." Lena stood. "We can't let them take the kid." "Agreed." K7 looked between them nervously. "What's happening?" Lena crouched again. "Some people want to make decisions about you without understanding you. We're not going to let that happen." "What? Why would they take me?" K7 asked in a shaky voice. "Have I done something wrong?" Lena shook her head firmly. "No, not at all. You're not the problem. Their politics are." K7 didn't fully understand, but they nodded slightly. Kresik opened a hidden panel in the wall. Inside was a narrow service tunnel. "We must leave. Now. If security finds K7 here, they will remove them by force." Lena didn't hesitate. K7 grabbed a small satchel from under the table. Inside were simple belongings: a favorite book, a puzzle tool, and a data pad. Lena felt her chest twist again at the sight. A child preparing to run. They stepped into the tunnel. It was cramped and dim, filled with wires and the smell of heated metal. As the door slid closed behind them, the room went dark, except for faint emergency lights running along the floor. "Stay close," Kresik warned. "These tunnels twist for kilometers. Easy to get lost." Lena stayed behind K7, guiding them with a hand on their shoulder. Their skin glowed softly in the dark, lighting the path. As they moved, Lena whispered, "Do you feel okay? Not scared?" K7 looked back at her with wide eyes. "I've never left my chamber before. But you're here. So, I think I'm safe." The words warmed Lena's heart in a way she didn't expect. Protecting K7 suddenly felt natural, like something she was meant to do. They crawled through a tangle of pipes, climbed a small ladder, and emerged into a maintenance walkway overlooking a large reactor chamber. The air vibrated with energy, and the floor hummed beneath their feet. Kresik checked a map on his wrist. "Security teams are blocking the main exits. We must go downward." "Downward?" Lena asked. "What's down there?" "Industrial waste processing, atmospheric vents, old cargo storage. It is dangerous, but less guarded." K7 tugged on Lena's sleeve. "I'm not afraid of dark places." Lena smiled tightly. "I'm glad one of us isn't." They continued downward through old staircases and forgotten compartments. The deeper they went, the colder the air became. Strange noises echoed clanks, distant machinery, hisses of steam. At one point, a loud metal groan echoed through the tunnel. K7 pressed close to Lena. She placed a steady hand on their back. It's just the station shifting. It's old in some areas. K7 nodded, calming slightly. After several minutes of tense silence, they reached an old cargo bay door. Kresic forced it open with a loud scrape. The room inside was dusty and filled with unused containers. But it was empty of guards. This will give us time to plan, Kresic said. Lena helped K7 sit on one of the crates. Are you tired? K7 shook their head. I don't get tired easily. You gave me strong genes. Lena's heart squeezed. I didn't give them on purpose. K7 tilted their head. But I exist. Isn't that good? Lena looked into their glowing blue eyes. There was innocence there. Hope, fear, curiosity. A mix of human and alien. She nodded slowly. Yes, it is good. K7 smiled, small, unsure, but real. It lit their whole face. Before Lena could say more, Kresic hissed sharply. Quiet. Someone is approaching. Footsteps echoed from the hallway outside. Heavy ones. Not Cressian. Not civilian. Security. K7 grabbed Lena's hand tightly. Lena whispered, Stay behind me. Her heart pounded, not from fear of the guards, but from fear of losing this child she had met only minutes ago. A shadow appeared in the doorway. Kresic stepped forward to block the view, antennae tense. Lena's thoughts raced. Whatever happened next, she knew one thing with absolute clarity. She was not going to let the council take K7. Not now. Not ever. The footsteps outside the cargo bay grew louder, slow, heavy, certain. Dr. Lena Marek felt K7's cool hand gripping her own so tightly that their fingers trembled. Kresic stood in front of them, trying to appear calm, but his antennae twitched nervously. Remain behind me, he whispered. Security units may not listen to reason. The shadow in the doorway lengthened. A tall, armored figure stepped into the room, holding a glowing scanner. His helmet hid his face. But the symbol on his chest, an 8-pointed star, made Kresic stiffen even more. Council enforcement, Kresic said under his breath. This is worse than expected. The officer raised his scanner and swept it across the room. A soft beep echoed. His visor turned toward the three of them. Identify yourselves, the officer commanded. Lena steadied her breathing. She stepped forward before fear could stop her. I'm Dr. Lena Marek. I'm here with... The officer cut her off. You are interfering in a council-ordered containment protocol. Containment? Lena snapped. You're talking about a child. Hybrid K7 must be delivered to the council immediately for evaluation. There will be no evaluation. Lena said coldly. Not like this. The officer took a step forward. The order is not optional. K7 pressed closer to Lena's side. Please don't let them take me, they whispered. Lena's heart pounding, she placed herself directly between the officer and K7. You're not taking them, she said. Not without due process. Not without a hearing. Not without Earth representation. Do you even understand the legal disaster you're creating for the council? She didn't know if her voice shook. She didn't care. The officer paused. Your objections are noted. Now stand aside. Not happening. Kresic slid slightly forward, raising his hands. Officer, perhaps we could discuss. Move. The officer ordered. The tension in the room tightened, like a rope pulled to its limit. Then, from somewhere far down the hallway, a sudden explosion shook the floor. Dust rained from the ceiling. The officer turned sharply, confused. Kresic grabbed the moment. Now! Run! Lena didn't hesitate. She grabbed K7's hand and pulled them through a side door as Kresic shoved a large crate in front of the officer to slow him down. They sprinted through a narrow hallway full of old pipes and flickering lights. K7 moved lightly, almost gliding, while Lena struggled to keep up. Kresik followed close behind. "What was that explosion?" Lena panted. "Atmospheric systems malfunction," Kresik said. "The station is old. Such failures are common. But it buys us time." They turned a sharp corner, passed a group of abandoned repair bots, and entered another maintenance shaft. "Where are we going now?" Lena asked. "To the Civic Data Wing," Kresik replied. "If we reach their public database, we can broadcast proof of the Council's mistake to the entire station. Then security cannot act without witnesses." Lena nodded. Yes, that could work." K7 looked up at her. "Broadcast means many people will see us?" "Yes." "Will they hate me?" Lena stopped for a second, crouching so she could look K7 inches the eyes. "Listen to me. Some might be scared. Some might be confused. But many will want to help once they know the truth." K7 swallowed. "I hope so." Quote, "We'll make sure of it." Kresik gestured urgently. "We must keep moving." They continued through the winding tunnels until they reached a vertical shaft with a narrow metal ladder leading upward. Wind rushed through the shaft, carrying cool air from the station's upper vents. Kresik motioned for them to climb. Lena let K7 go first, staying right behind them. She kept one hand under their foot in case they slipped. Kresik climbed last, sealing the hatch behind them. After several minutes, they emerged into a bright, open space that looked completely different from the dark tunnels below. The Civic Data Wing was filled with tall, transparent screens, glowing panels, and floating holographic archives. Citizens from various species moved around quietly, studying records or researching local laws. The three fugitives stood out instantly. Lena felt dozens of eyes turn toward them. A tall, blue-skinned woman gasped when she saw K7's glowing body. A pair of reptilian workers exchanged nervous whispers. "Stay close," Lena murmured. Kresik pointed to a panel across the hall. "Main broadcast terminal. We upload the report there." They moved quickly, trying not to attract too much attention, but word spread fast. Conversations stopped. People stepped aside. Some looked afraid, others curious, others sympathetic. When they reached the terminal, Kresik entered his authorization code. The screen lit up with hundreds of database links. "I will upload the genetic report and the Council's unauthorized project order," he said. "Once it is public, the Council must respond openly." "Do it," Lena said. Kresik worked fast. His claws clicked rapidly across the panel. Data flashed. Files transferred. Then, "Access denied" flashed across the screen in bright red. Kresik's antennae shot upward. "No. Someone locked the system." "Who?" Lena demanded. Before Kresik could answer, the lights flickered. A deep chime echoed across the hall. A cold, emotionless voice filled the room. "Attention, citizens of Orlan Station. A security breach is in progress. Hybrid subject K7 has escaped controlled custody. All civilians must evacuate immediately." Murmurs exploded through the hall. People backed away, staring at K7 inches. Fear. K7 stepped behind Lena, trembling. "They're calling me dangerous." One. "They're lying," Lena said. Kresik tried the panel again, but it powered down completely. "They shut down local access. We are blocked." Lena's chest tightened. Kresik looked around. "We must reach the central chamber, the main council floor. If you speak there, humans and allies will hear your words. They cannot hide what you say." "The council chamber?" Lena said, surprised. "Won't it be heavily guarded?" "Yes, but you are the only one who can challenge them directly." K7 tugged her hand. "If we go there, will they hurt you?" Lena squeezed their fingers gently. I don't plan on letting them. K7 nodded shakily. As they prepared to move, two small figures approached them, an elderly alien couple with soft white feathers and kind eyes. Is it true? One of them whispered. The child? Was created without consent? Lena nodded. And the council wants to silence them? Yes. The couple exchanged a look, then stepped aside, making a clear path. You are not alone, the feathered woman said quietly. Others have suffered under secret council projects. Go. We will delay anyone who follows. Lena felt a surge of hope. Thank you. K7 stared at the couple, glowing eyes wide. You're not afraid of me? The woman smiled sadly. Child, we fear the council far more than you. Lena placed a hand on K7's shoulder. Let's move. They walked quickly through the wing, down a large circular hall lined with statues of past council leaders. A crowd began forming behind them, some following out of curiosity, others clearly wanting to help. The station was no longer silent. Whispers spread like fire. Is that the hybrid? Is the council hiding something? That's the human scientist. What's going on? Are they running? Or are they standing up against them? By the time Lena, K7, and Kresic reached the large doors of the central chamber, there were at least 50 citizens behind them. The doors were locked. 4 heavily armored guards stood in front, blocking entry. One of them stepped forward. The chamber is closed. Leave immediately. Lena stepped up. I am Dr. Lena Marek of Earth. I demand audience with the council. F. Request denied. By what legal authority? Lena challenged loudly. According to the Interspecies Ethics Treaty, I have the right to present a claim if my genetic material was used without consent. The guard hesitated. Murmurs rippled through the watching crowd. Lena continued, voice rising. You cannot hide your mistake behind locked doors. You cannot threaten a child to protect your reputation. The guards stiffened as the crowd murmured louder. Let her speak, someone shouted. Open the doors, another yelled. The guards were losing control. Suddenly, the chamber doors slid open from the inside with a heavy groan. A stern voice echoed through the room. Let them enter. Lena's stomach twisted as she looked inside. The entire Galactic Council sat waiting. Cold, silent, watching. K7 squeezed her hand harder. Lena took a deep breath. Everything was about to change. The grand doors of the central chamber opened slowly, their heavy metal echoing across the hall like rolling thunder. The Galactic Council chamber was enormous, wide circular platforms, glowing light panels on the walls, and long rows of elevated seats arranged like a ring of judges surrounding the center floor. At least 20 species sat on the raised platforms. Some had shimmering scales. Others had wings. Others had smooth stones for skin. They all stared down at Lena, K7, and Kresic with cold, unreadable expressions. Lena felt K7's hand shaking in hers. It's okay, she whispered. Stay close. A deep voice boomed across the chamber. A massive counselor, with a body like polished bronze, stood at the highest platform. Dr. Lena Marek of Earth, Dr. Kresic of the Kresian Medical Guild, and hybrid subject K7. They walked to the center circle. The floor glowed under their feet. K7 pressed closer to Lena. Their glowing eyes darted nervously around the huge room. The bronze counselor leaned forward. You stand accused of unauthorized breach into restricted areas, obstruction of council security, and public disturbance. Lena raised her chin. And you stand accused of creating a child without consent and attempting to hide your mistake by destroying them. Gasps rippled through the chamber. Some counselors shifted uncomfortably. Others glared at her. The bronze counselor's voice rose. Dr. Marek, you are in no position to accuse this council. The hybrid represents a danger to political stability. Their existence was not approved by Earth. Lena pointed sharply at them. That was your error, not theirs. Another counselor, thin and crystal-like, spoke. You were never meant to know about the project. Lena's anger surged. Yet I do know. And I won't stay silent. The chamber lights dimmed slightly, as if reacting to the tension. The bronze counselor continued. Hybrid K7 must be contained for study. They are unpredictable. Their abilities are unknown. Their DNA is unstable. K7 flinched. Lena squeezed their hand. Don't listen to them. A smaller counselor, with wings like transparent glass, fluttered forward. Does the hybrid understand the charges? K7 stepped nervously behind Lena. I don't understand why you want to hurt me. I didn't do anything wrong. A heavy silence fell across the chamber. For the first time, some of the counselors' eyes softened. The bronze counselor slammed a metal fist on the railing. Silence. The hybrid is not permitted to speak. Lena stepped forward. They have every right to speak. They are alive. They think. They feel. K7 looked up at her with wide, glowing eyes. Why don't they want to hear me? Because they're scared, Lena said softly. Scared of their own mistake. The bronze counselor glared at Lena. Enough. This matter ends now. Security, take the hybrid. Armored guards stepped forward from the sides of the chamber. K7 gasped. Lena instinctively moved between them and the guards. No, she said. You cannot do this. This is against every interspecies ethics law. The bronze counselor frowned. You assume Earth will support you? You are alone here. Lena's voice rose, echoing through the chamber. Am I? She turned toward the giant open doors. Outside the chamber, hundreds of citizens had gathered. The hall was packed, aliens of dozens of species, standing shoulder to shoulder, watching. Many had followed Lena from the civic wing. Others had arrived after hearing rumors. Some stood there out of curiosity. Some out of anger at the council. Some because they believed in justice. The citizens murmured, their voices growing louder. Let her speak. Hybrid rights matter. Stop hiding the truth. The council made the mistake. Protect the child. The bronze counselor's eyes widened. Lena faced the council again. Looks like I'm not alone. Kresic stepped forward, holding a data crystal. Council members, I have copies of the hybrid's genetic records, the authorization errors, and internal messages discussing termination. If Dr. Marek and K7 are harmed, these will be sent to every station and Alliance world. The chamber exploded into whispers. The bronze counselor snarled. You threaten us? I present facts, Kresic replied calmly. Lena's heart pounded. She wasn't sure how long this pressure would last. The council might still force security to attack. She had only one choice. She stepped forward, pulling K7 with her, and spoke loudly, clearly, to every counselor and every citizen watching. I am Dr. Lena Marek. My DNA was taken without permission. A child was created from it. A living, breathing being. And instead of taking responsibility, you chose fear. You chose to hide your mistake. You chose destruction over compassion. K7 looked up at her, trembling. Lena continued, voice strong. Humans don't give up on their children. Even the unexpected ones. Even the accidental ones. And I will not let you treat this child like a failed experiment. A quiet ripple of agreement moved through the crowd outside. The bronze counselor stood. Dr. Marek, you forget your place. No, Lena said firmly. I know exactly where my place is. It's right here. Protecting a child who never asked to be born, but deserves to live. K7 suddenly stepped forward, their glowing eyes shimmering. I don't want to hurt anyone, they said softly, voice echoing through the chamber. I just want to live. I want to learn things. I want to help people. I want to make my own choices. A guard lunged. K7 gasped as a blinding pulse beam shot toward them. Lena tried to shield them, but a glowing energy sphere burst outward from K7's body. A perfect dome of shimmering blue light. The beam struck the shield and dissolved instantly. Gasps filled the chamber. K7's whole body glowed like a star. Their eyes were bright and fierce. "I don't want to fight," they said. "But I will protect myself. And the people who care about me." The guards froze, terrified. The bronze counselor staggered back. "Impossible. The hybrid's energy output is too high." Lena placed a steady hand on K7's back as the glow dimmed. "You're okay," she whispered. "I'm right here." K7 breathed slowly, calming, their shield fading like mist. The energy display had changed everything. Counselors whispered among themselves. Citizens outside cheered. Even some guards hesitated, uncertain. Finally, a gentle voice rose from the far side of the chamber. An elderly counselor with soft, glowing tendrils leaned forward. The child shows restraint, intelligence, emotional control. These are not traits of a danger. These are traits of a person. Another counselor nodded. The mistake was ours. But the child is innocent. Destroying them would disgrace the council and violate our own laws. The bronze counselor clenched his fists. "You cannot be serious." But more voices joined. "She speaks truth. The human fights for justice. The hybrid saved lives, not harmed them. We must correct our error." Finally, a majority of counselors raised their glowing decision markers. A bright green light filled the chamber. The verdict was clear. Hybrid K7 is granted full protection under the interspecies ethics law. No harm is to come to them. They will be placed under Earth's guardianship. Lena exhaled shakily. Her knees almost gave out in relief. K7 stared up at her. "Does that mean I get to live?" Lena knelt, pulling them into a gentle embrace. "Yes, you get to live. And can I stay with you?" Lena paused just a heartbeat before answering. "Yes," she said softly, "if you want to." K7's eyes glowed even brighter. "I do." The chamber erupted in mixed reactions, anger from some, cheers from others. But none mattered compared to the small, warm hand gripping hers. Kresic stepped beside them. "You have changed more today than you know, Dr. Marek." Lena smiled weakly. "I didn't do it alone." Outside, citizens cheered loudly. Lights flashed. Cameras turned. For the first time, K7 didn't step back. They stepped forward toward their new future, toward the cheering crowd, toward a life not as a test subject but as a person. And then, in a small, uncertain voice filled with warmth, they whispered a word Lena had never expected to hear. "Mother." Lena's heart melted. "Yeah," she whispered. Together, hand in hand, they walked out of the chamber into a galaxy that, finally, recognized them.